All right, so let's go over a couple word problems involving cylinders, cones, and spheres. So this first problem is a percent problem where we're going to find the total volume, the part that's water, and then find the percent of the tank that's filled with water. So we can see that the shape of the tank is a cylinder. So the formula we'll be using is V equals pi r squared h. So, looking at the diagram for the total tank, not the part with water, we can see that we don't know the volume, we know the radius is 4, and we know the height of the tank is 10. So, I'll plug those pieces of information into the formula for cylinder, and I'll find out that the volume of my cylinder is 502.4 meters cubed. Next, I'm going to focus on the part that's water. So still focusing on a cylinder, pi r squared h. We don't know the volume. We know the radius is 4 and the height is 8. So plugging those values into the formula, we get 3.14 times 4 squared times 8, which we're going to plug into our calculator to find out that the volume of just the water is 401.92. And so if I look at what percent of the water of the tank is filled with water, I need to do the part divided by the whole times 100 to get the percent. So the part that's filled with water is 401.92. The whole is 502.4. And so if I divide those and multiply by 100, I get that 80% of the tank is filled with water. So now we have a cone. So let's first start with finding the total volume of the tank. So I'm going to use the cone formula, 1/3 pi r squared h. I know, well, I don't know the volume. I know the radius of the cone is 3, and the height of the whole tank is 10. So the formula I'll be looking at is 1/3 times pi times the radius squared times the height. So I'm going to type that into my calculator, and I'm going to get that the volume of the entire tank is 94.2 meters cubed. So the next one is asking us to find the volume of the water in the tank. So I'm going to use the cone formula again. I don't know the volume. I know the radius is 3, and I know the height of the water is 5. So it's 1/3 times 3.14 times the radius squared times the height. So I'm going to plug that into my calculator, and I'm going to get that the volume of just the portion with the water is 47.1. So my last portion asks me to find the percent filled with the tank. What percent of the tank is filled with water? So I do part divided by whole times 100. So part divided by whole times 100 tells me that 50% of the tank is filled with water. The next type of problems we have is where we're going to find the unit cost. So I know whenever I see the word per, that it's talking about a unit cost. So first, let's find the volume of the paint can. We know it's a cylinder, so we're using the pi r squared h formula, where we don't know the volume. We know the radius is half the diameter, so the radius is going to be 5. And the height, we're told, is 12. So the formula we'll use is 3.14 times radius squared times height. And if we plug that into our calculator, we get that the volume of the paint can is 942 inches cubed. So we're told that the whole can is $48. So to find the unit cost, we take the cost and we divide it by the volume. So we take $48 and divide it by the volume to get 48 divided by 942 is, and since it's money, I'm going to round to the nearest penny, so 2 decimal places. This tells me that it's 5 cents per cubic inch, per inch cubed. That's the unit cost. So each unit of volume will cost 5 cents for the total cost to be $48. All right, let's answer these questions about an ice cream cone. So first, let's find the volume. So we use the formula 1/3 pi r squared h. We don't know the volume. We know the radius has to be 1 and the height is 6. So it's 1/3 times 3.14 times 1 squared times height, which is 6. And so plugging that into my calculator gives me that the total volume is 6.28 inches cubed. So to find the unit cost, we're going to do the cost divided by the volume. So 350 divided by $6.28 inches cubed gives us that it cost 56 cents per cubic inch. That tells us that ice cream is much more expensive per cubic inch than paint is, which I can understand because everybody loves ice cream.